Okay, so hi. This is the project that I'm going to be undertaking, the Comical Grasshopper, and it's brought me back to RC racing after, I say racing, RC at least, after 30 years off. I used to have Schumacher cats, a Tamiya bigwig, and it all started off with holiday buggies back in the day. It's not quite the first thing I'm going to build though, because over Christmas my son and I built this, which is obviously a Hornet. So we did that last week, so I kind of know what's to come. As you can see, this has had a bit of a spin and it's great fun, and hopefully with mine built we can then have a bit of a bash around together. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So one of the things with the WR2CB chassis, as you might know, is that you get a pre-built gearbox, and one of the first things I'm going to do is take the gearbox to bits and begin to start putting in my ball racers instead of the plastic bushings, just to help it run smoother and obviously last that little bit longer. And as lots of Tamiya aficionados would say, they wish they'd include these in the standard pack kit, but yeah, that's the first job. There you go, there are the ball bearings in, so just a question of putting the case back together now, and that slots nicely on there. Everything is lovely and smooth inside, and we've got I've applied that grease as well. We're all ready to go. Okay, now we do actually move to the proper stage one, which so now the gearbox is fully built back up. We're doing the rear wishbones and mounts to go on there. Something that's it's in the instructions, and you'll see this time and time again with Tamiya stuff, and it's a lesson to read the blooming instructions. Is they've got a little notch at the top here which shows you on the instruction sheets, and they need to line up either side. So there's another little notch on this one, and they go together like this, not like that in fact, like that. So there you go. This looks slightly odd there because they don't line up, but those two notches are perfectly right, and that matches. And then the same on the other side, notch, notch, and then you put the little shock mount balls into these here. Let's do that then. Let's get these put together. This is something actually that while building the Hornet with my son, we made some daft errors, as you know, I guess, building these kits, and this is a classic. This is one we did when we went to fit them onto the chassis itself. Yeah, there was loads of jiggle, and that's how we realised that we'd put one of these not matching up there. And then the balls just go in the innermost of the three options there. So first use of the infamous box spanner, which is one of those tools. Like I say, 30 years since I've done this, and I had fond memories of these box spanners and showing my son, and yeah, the fond memories have come back, I have to say. Get these lined up so it's the wider. You'll see this in the instructions obviously. Get this one in, marry that up. Yeah, your first box spanner is a big thing, isn't it? Funny I was teaching my son tips and bits and bobs while building his Hornet, and one of the things I was really keen that he do was do the burrs on all the plastic, so trimming them down. But also he was cutting the pieces out of the trees, and of course he's not here now because he's back at school, and I'm having to cut them out of the trees. And obviously paying attention to the numbers, part numbers, is important, because these are very similar to the front, but of course a little bit longer on the back. Well, not of course, but they are. So yeah, I'm having to learn that, which, you know, is part of the fun, isn't it? So another great tip that I saw on Pete Wiley's channel, and I must give a big shout out to Pete because his videos are fantastic, is because this is soft plastic and this is hard plastic. And with these step screws, I'll just show you these little step screws. What Tamiya don't include is these washers, which I just bought off eBay on the recommendation of Pete. Put your step screw in as normal, put your washer on, and the hard soft plastic, because these can apparently back out over time, so just a little dab of super glue on the end of that. And Pete does this far more elegantly than I will, but please watch his videos, they're amazing. Again, this was on his heavy dump truck, which is the 4x4 version of this chassis. So tighten that up carefully, not getting super glue on the washer itself, of course. And then it says in the instructions not to over tighten these. Of course, you can do this lovely and tight, and you still, because of the washer, you get a lovely smooth move. Thank you, Pete. Well, one of the reasons you might be buying this kit is that it does wheelies. Certainly one of the reasons that attracted me to it, and why I didn't go for a traditional Grasshopper or Hornet. I'll be honest with you, I never really liked those kits back in the day. There were some great Tamiyas. Like I say, I had a big wig, which was pretty awesome, but a bit of a Marmite kind of Tamiya car. But it ran really, really well, much better than a Hot Shot in my opinion, which was out at similar time. But that is the length of my experience, and I've always fancied a lunchbox. Never had one, and I nearly went with a lunchbox for my son and I this time round. But I thought, I just like the Comicals. Other than their name, I think they should have. I think there's a bit of a Japanese translation issue there. I'd have called them Pumped Up or Pumped Hornet and Pumped Grasshopper rather than Comical, because I don't think the Comical really does them justice. I think they're great. Obviously they're built on a Wild Wiley chassis, which I used to love. Wild Willies, never owned one. Hopefully one day I will. So this is, and obviously I could put a, well, I say obviously, hopefully I could put a Wild Wiley body and wheels on this at some point, so I kind of get my Wild Wiley through this kit. But yeah, it's a pretty meaty bit of kit, this wheelie bar. I mean, it's a plastic wheel on the back, but it's got a metal rod through it, and then there's these aluminium spaces. I need to get this a little bit tighter. Pretty long screws. Yeah, it ain't coming off. But it's an example of Tamiya just building something really nice, I think. I mean, yeah, that's pretty hefty bar on the back, and obviously you get custom ones as well. But yeah, one of the finest bits of fun on this baby. This is something I can't remember from the original kits. Maybe my kits didn't have them, but these little rubber O-rings in your dog bone go into the drive cups, and you just nudge him in to the back of the drive cup there. So he goes in there, and then the same on the other side. And it's quite exciting putting these two first ones in, because obviously they go into the gearbox, the drive cup size, through the gearbox, bit of oil inside there, and then push them together. It's quite a nice, I mean, it feels really solid and nice, and obviously nice and smooth, lovely and smooth in fact. This is an area where I'm going to go against Tamiya, because it says apply. I mean, I put ball races in rather than the plastic bearings, and it says apply oil to the shaft and inside the dog bone cup. Does it inside the... yeah, on these little balls. I'm not going to do that because it just attracts crap, in my opinion. So your little rubber bearings, your little O-rings, rubber O-rings, yes, definitely. But I'm not going to put any oil on the end of these. I might be wrong. Maybe you Tamiya heads call me on that, but I just think it's not needed. It's the first one I've got wrong. That little O-ring did not land properly. Get in there. Maybe you want some oil on it. There we go. Right, get these the right way up. Okay, radio setup time. So Core RC servo, just a standard kind of servo. And then a Dumbo RC controller, which I've seen on YouTube, various channels recommending it. It's cheap, 30 quid. This cost me. And yeah, it's we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I've not used it yet. Pop the box over there. The only thing straight out of the box that I'm not so keen on is it's not got the foam on there. But one of the reasons I went for it and how is you got some adjustment controls there, highly recommended, was that its range is fantastic and it feels nice in the hand. And the other thing, just to mention at this point, is in this kit, and again it's in the instructions, but it's one of those lines you'll maybe miss. When you get the chassis, add the chassis on the front here, the extended bit, the servo sits like that upside down, which means you need the servo in reverse on your controller, which threw me big time initially, and I didn't know. I had the throttle in reverse, everything in reverse, and then not in reverse. I was like, what's going on? But anyway, servo in reverse, throttle standard, and you'll be good to go. While I'm recording this bit, I'm high on paint fumes. I've just done the first coat on there. It's a beautiful smell, and it's one of those things. I'm not brilliant at painting, but I'm trying this custom paint job, and my son really enjoyed this part of the build, which was a bit of a surprise actually, the painting, but I'll show you a bit more of that in a minute. Tamiya standard TBLE 02 speed controller, and this was all a bit new to me because having that 30-year hiatus, it was mechanical speed controllers back in the day. So servo goes in 1 generally, and the little metal bits to the north or up. So I'll put that in there. Oops. Interesting. So that's in 1, and then your... oh, sorry, that's speed controller. So speed controller channel 2. So it wanted to go in there first, it was right. Servo, this one, this little fellow. North again for your metals, that goes in 1. And then theoretically, and this is one of the bits that caught me out, and obviously you'll be able to test it properly later, but I'll spin this round. Yellow to yellow. You don't really need to test this bit at this point, but why not while we're here. Blue to green, because I'm using the standard out of the box. And then turn your controller on first. I tell you what we do need to do. Let's plug a battery in. There's no point in turning this on without a battery, because it ain't going to do anything. And that's paired up, which is good to know. Servo's working. As is the throttle. So that's good. Got that set up. Hi, so I thought I'd give you a bit of an update of how I'm getting on with this custom body. As you can, this was the test bit that we did. A bit of a test spray on there. And as you can see, I've applied some of the stickers to the Grasshopper shell now, and also the window masks. And you can see the different designs of the stickers, all of those, and then on the roof as well, and on the wing. And I've done a kind of randomised pattern.